the New Orleans Saints and the state of Louisiana are nearing a new long-term lease to keep the team in New Orleans and playing at the Superdome. The New Orleans Times-Picayune had the report. Wasn't this Jeff who had it? Didn't Jeff Duncan have the report? Jeff had the report. Deal could be announced as soon as next week. So it would be a 10-year deal that would also come with a series of 4 5-year extensions as the team's option. So the team would have the option to opt into those 4 different 5-year extensions over naturally 20 years. So if the franchise, would exercise all of those extensions, it would keep the Saints at the Superdome through 2055. That would be the venue's 80th birthday. Of course, it opened back in 1975 in New Orleans. The lease does include, according to this report, a relocation penalty. And that penalty would be $250 million. Now, that feels like a very steep price. But when you consider $250 million in the context of the value of a franchise and the escalating value of NFL franchises, should and when Grandma Gail were to pass and there would be a new owner of the franchise, whenever that day comes, and hopefully it's decades from now. Hopefully she lives she lives 20 more years, 30 more years, healthy, long, wonderful life. So philanthropic and giving to the city, the state, the region. It'd be amazing. But at some point, there will be a new ownership of the franchise. And whenever that comes, no doubt the franchise will be even more valuable than it is today. And that $250 million would just not feel very significant as far as a relocation fee. But the other thing about Mrs. Benson that she said many times, both with the Saints and the Pelicans, is she has no interest of selling to anyone who would have any interest in moving the team. So having this type of penalty, a 9-figure penalty for moving the team, I think is great because we all want to see the Saints stay in New Orleans forever. The really interesting thing, though, is with the Superdome and how long they might plan to stay in the Superdome. Because when you look over time, the Dome was originally built for at a cost of $134 million. Post-Katrina, there were nearly $200 million in renovations that were needed. And then they had more renovations, which came in 2011 at $336 million. And now this most recent series of renovations from 2020 through 2024 was $500 million, $560 million. So the point is, with all of these renovation costs, you've spent about $1 billion. The exact is $896 million. You're at $1 billion renovating this building. At this point, you have so much invested in this building, it doesn't make a lick of sense to build a new building. So everyone gets infatuated with shiny and new, and I can certainly understand and appreciate the appeal of that. But the thing that has made New Orleans so attractive for major events and venues is you have a climate-controlled venue that can hold massive crowds in a walkable part of one of the greatest cities on the face of the earth. So that location in this building, I am very much in favor of keeping, instead of like buying land where Jazzland was and building a stadium out there and having people drive, to New Orleans East to go to a foot. No. Stay where you are for as long as you possibly can. I love the idea of the Saints staying in the Dome that long. By the way, one other note, Saints hope to get this lease signed by September the 17th, so that way they'd be in position to bid for the Super Bowl to be played in New Orleans in 2031. So that's the target for the next Super Bowl to be in New Orleans. It would be the Super Bowl in the 2030 season, the 2031 Super Bowl. So another 5 years. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.